the best thing you can do is like fail forward, get off of Pinterest, and just shoot. If you don't have the camera, use your phone. Get a digicam, get a disposable camera. Start somewhere.
Welcome to the Gathered Arts Podcast. I'm Cass, and that's Kat. We're going to sit down with our creative community and chat about life as artists while Lee paints a portrait of our lovely guest. Welcome, Nautica.
Thank you for having me.
Would you like to give us a little intro about what you do?
So my name is Nautica Simone, and I'm a photographer and storyteller here in Toronto.
Nice. I like that distinction, storyteller.
Yeah. Because now I really want to get more into storytelling, and then also I want to dabble into filmmaking too as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I started off like my creative journey as a poet, so I'm just like, oh, okay, let me blend all my worlds together. So storyteller.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you get your start in photography?
So there's different things to different people because it's all of what I can remember at that current moment. But one thing about photography is that like I had so many different like access points as to like my admiration, but also my obsession when it comes to creating an image. So I first started off like maybe my first initial thoughts of or first memory of photography was when I was a kid, and I would just obsess over like photo albums. Really wouldn't care about spending time with my family. I would just go to the house to just like be a little invasive and look through photo albums. Like, oh, who's that? Okay. Oh, they're not here no more. Why? But also get the stories from that. And then also my stepdad, he worked for a distributing company for published books and magazines. So I was also I grew admiration for different means of or modalities of photography, whether it was like documentary photography, photography that would be used in medical books, which like would be like probably the most obscured things because it would be like people dissecting bodies, and I'm just like, oh my god, wow, how did he go about photographing?
The behind the scenes.
I'm like behind the scenes, like wow, like what happened? Even like encyclopedias, especially like animals. I just had this admiration again for just how to take a photograph. And then fast forward, I was in my, I don't even know what year I was in for college, but I was in college. I was working at a yoga studio. Everyone in the yoga studio was talking about, oh my God, the art of film photography is like, it brings me peace. It's meditative for me.
Oh, of course.
And I had someone who also is a film photographer. I have to always punch her name in because her name is Sammy Chan, but she's the one who actually introduced me to film photography. And she's the one who's like, you know what? You're adulting. You're going to be going through loss. You're going to be going through grief. Film photography is probably the best thing for you to do to like be more present and then also let go of that sense of control.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so then that's how I got into photography. How I got my first camera. It was very sketchy. I just randomly messaged some random stranger on Kijiji.
Oh, no,
I was like, hey, meet me at this spot at this time. Like I really didn't think about it. I had $150 and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna use my OSAP for that. My OSAP money and buy that camera. And then I bought my first film camera, and I've just been shooting ever since.
Which camera was it? Or is it still?
Oh, maybe that. RIP to it.
Oh no.
It was the Minolta X700. I still have it. It's just collecting dust now because it doesn't turn on. It doesn't work.
Display piece.
It's a display piece. Like
it's a memory.
It's a memory, and I want to pass it off to my kids or to my nephew because I don't know about having kids. But yes, I want to pass it off.
How did you get into figurative work or portrait work, really?
I remember, from what I can remember, I was just like, I was always going on hikes, and I'm like a nature girly. I'm an earth sign. So I was just like photographing a lot of like things in nature, and I ended up photographing one of my friends, Rue, who's also an amazing painter too. Not to
shout out.
But we went to I don't even know what it was called, but it was like an old mill, like in the middle of nowhere. And we were like around, we were like in the ruins, but it was like in a forest. So we were able to hike to as well. I photographed her, didn't think nothing of it, posted it. And then somehow my coworker saw, and then they were like, oh my God, hey, can you like photograph me? Let's just try this out.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And then I just like segued into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened.
That's the best kind of way it happens. So
I never really wanted to do portraits.
no.
What did you want to do then?
Just photograph nature. Just be like, oh my God, I'm present. Oh my God, look at that bird. Oh my God, what kind of bird is that? I need to photograph. What kind of flowers? But that,
Yeah.
because I'll still do that now. But I very much just wanted to like focus on nature photography. Or just like be like the impromptu moments of just like when you're spending time with your loved ones.
Yeah.
But then it just turned out that people were like, you have the eye, so you need to do something with it.
Yeah. I guess speaking of your eye for portraiture photography, what makes, I guess, a good model? Like, what do you look for when you're taking pictures of people?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like I can make anyone feel like they're a model, and I don't want to sound like being conceited in that way.
No, not at all.
But I remember I was watching when I first initially was into photography. I watched, or I heard somewhere on a podcast about building rapport, and then also when I was initially introduced to photography, I was also working in the health and wellness space. So like when it comes to like working with clients, you have to build rapport all the time.
Yeah.
So having that knowledge, I'm just like, okay, it's always about building rapport and ensuring that who you're photographing feels comfortable. And then also just like being present. I think the best thing you can do is have a conversation before you actually get started on taking the photos.
What is the whole process of doing a photo shoot? I guess for yourself versus a commercial one.
Honestly, so I'm gonna start off with a commercial, or like commission work. I feel like commission work is probably easier because the clients are already coming to me with the idea, and I already kind of have an idea of like, okay, how I'm gonna go about shooting it.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I tend to be a little bit more obsessive with the planning, so down to the T of like, this is how this pose is going to be at this time.
Oh, that's so intense.
Yeah, so I have to like, if you see my Pinterest board, you'll see that like I have boards that have like over 1,000 pins.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, because I'll keep adding on to it. But now more than ever, I've been like, okay, I'm just going to look at these boards just as a reference of like an idea of like, what are some themes that I'm seeing in these images?
Yeah.
Or like, what are some themes that I'm like writing about, or what are some themes that I'm talking to my friends about? Write a few like little passage of words, and then just like restrict myself to only selecting 20 images and then going about like, okay, this is how the vision's going to come about.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard though, but I'll spend like a day on Pinterest.
Oh my God. I love Pinterest. I get so much inspo from there.
It's a little too much inspo, but
Sometimes, yeah.
I love it.
Do you find yourself like storyboarding almost for shoots?
Now, yes, because I want to get into filmmaking. Before, it would just be like, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling today. Or even like, I also will do sometimes where I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna wing it, and like, again, I have an idea as to how I want the image to be, but I'm gonna completely wing the process, and then like reflect on the images afterwards, and then find like a centralized like theme or concept. Because like also for me, I can use my imagination, but also because I was trained within like the health and wellness or the health science field, I'm also very technical as to why I spend so much time on Pinterest, down to the technique of how I want the lighting to look. Sometimes like it's a mix. Like sometimes it's like, okay, just be spontaneous, and then sometimes it's like, okay, no, like have a concise plan, girl. So yeah.
I feel like that's kind of stressful to like have to storyboard it, have a concise plan.
Yeah.
But I know that's really common in like photography,
Yeah.
film, videography, stuff like that.
Like I'll have sketches,
Okay.
but more so they initially come from like, of course, the thought or whatever I'm writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it always starts with writing?
Yeah. I actually think, yeah, it does.
That's interesting.
Even if it's just like one word, I'm like, all right, I got that. I know what I'm going to do. Yeah.
What kind of concepts do you usually find yourself going towards?
I go a lot towards, not to say in a cathartic way, but I go a lot towards loss.
Okay.
But loss in the sense of like losing yourself or finding yourself again. And like kind of like
okay.
returning to home. And like what it means to have that autonomy for yourself as you're exploring what adult life is like. But that's like as of right now. I don't know what's going to happen when I turn 30.
That's true. I mean, it's always evolving.
Yeah.
You said you went to school earlier. What did you study?
So I started off at UOIT. I think they changed the name now. But UOIT. I studied kinesiology.
Oh, okay.
I was bored.
Yeah, it's very different.
It's very different. I was bored. And also because my stepdad, he worked for like the distributing company for publications. I had all those textbooks. So like as a kid, I'm flipping through the images and I'm reading and I'm just like, okay. So then like in my like when I was in uni, I was just like, oh yeah, I know this. I didn't show up to half of my exams. And me not showing up, it just dropped me down because like exams were worth 30%.
Yeah.
It would drop me down to like a 79.
Oh, okay.
I
You could just coast.
I could just coast.
Yeah.
But I studied that. Then I went to college just to make my mom happy. But I did fitness and health promotion.
Okay.
Because like I could still do kinesiology or anything related to health sciences afterwards.
Yeah, that's true.
If all fails, but I don't.
It's your plan B.
That's my plan.
Maybe plan C.
My plan D. Yeah, plan D. Z, actually. But yeah.
So you haven't taken any photography courses or anything like that?
No.
That's amazing.
YouTube University.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's honestly good.
Yeah. I will say though, the one thing that really helped me in terms of like my eye, or at least like my editing style too as well, was having friends who were in photography
Oh, okay.
who also weren't trained.
Oh, so they knew what to
They
say.
knew what to say, or they just like bought a lot of presets or courses.
Oh, okay.
And then like they'll be playing in the background. We'll be on FaceTime and I'm just like, again, I'll be scrolling through my Pinterest, but I'm like, oh, how am I going to execute this?
Yeah.
And then I'm also like kind of hearing like the courses that they're listening to.
Yeah.
Or even just like, if it's not that, just them helping to like cheer me on and hold me accountable to just at least be disciplined in my practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having a community is always helpful.
It is.
Yeah. Do you think your knowledge of, I guess, kinesiology and like fitness has kind of helped you, I guess, like direct these bodies in front of the camera? I was like, I'm trying to connect it, but like I know it's kind of
So
related.
it's called biomechanics.
Oh, I didn't know there was a name for it.
Biomechanics. That's the only terminology that I can remember right off the top of my head. But in terms of biomechanics, like one thing that like at least that I would always focus on was also I don't want to say like sagittal plane and all, like the plane in which like your body moves.
Okay.
And it's all based also too off of like your limbs, and then understanding, I'm nerding out, but understanding that each joint is an access point to go into like different planes. So there was that, but then also because at the time too, I was working at like gyms, I was working at yoga studios. So kind of just also seeing people like move their bodies as they were just like going through different asanas. It's just, I was just like, so I'm like, wow, like, yeah, like, okay, that's how, maybe if you fixed your posture this way. Like, I was like very like,
no.
yeah, I was very just like, even now, like sometimes I'll just like adjust.
Yeah.
Because it's just so ingrained.
You're so
in me.
aware.
But yeah, even just also one thing I will say too, a part of like working within the health and wellness space, other than biomechanics and like understanding the fluidity or understand the fluidity of motion for your body, it was also focusing on your breath.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, because even I would be cautious of when I'm, for those who are modeling, even if they didn't have to tell me that this is their first time, I would be very much focused on their breath. If I can't hear you, I could see your chest moving. And if I know that like your body's tense and it's just like, okay, take a deep breath. Okay, this is, take my camera, take a photo of me. And like
so
kind of really just like, the best thing you can do is kind of just like, I find too, is like mirroring your clients or your subject so that it makes them feel more relaxed and have their guard down.
Right.
Yeah.
Very insightful. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. We're going to take our first little break here and see what Lee's up to. Yeah.
Yeah.
All universities ophthalmologists.
Oh my god. Is this your first time being painted?
Yes, and my uncle is a painter and he's
Oh my god.
I wanted to ask if you shoot on multiple different types of cameras, like how you know which one to use.
Ooh, that's a very good question. It's hard. Is it hard? It's not hard now because the cost of film is high.
Ooh, true.
That's very true.
Film is
It's decided
high.
for you.
It's decided for me that if I'm going to shoot on film, I use one specific camera.
Okay.
And the camera that I use is a Canon Elan, so it acts like, sorry, I'm saying this, and then I just remember the back of my mind, my friend tell me, don't tell them what camera you use.
Why? Is it like a secret?
Like we should be gatekeeping it. But I'm gonna be honest, because also working in a film lab too as well, seeing like all the most amazing shots just come out like out of focus.
Oh no.
It pains me. So I use a automatic film camera that has auto focus features.
Oh, nice.
So I always ensure that I'm still getting the shot. When I want to feel a little artistic, I'll like try and do manual shooting.
Yeah.
But my eyes can't do that no more. So I do autofocus.
Fair.
And then I also use like my Fujifilm X-T5, and I say that because in hopes of one day
sponsor.
But
Never know.
I use those two. And in terms of knowing which one to use, if I know that it's not going to be like something that is like I've come a long way, I'll say that.
Okay.
Because even like if I'm traveling, I would used to carry like 5 different cameras.
Yeah.
And I'm just like 2, like my film automatic camera and then my Fujifilm camera. But yeah, just pick the ones that give you the least amount of resistance to shoot, and then you're good.
I know some people are like really into like the tech and the specs about the cameras. Is that just people overthinking it, or do you think it really does play a role?
It's to each their own.
Yeah.
Like for someone like me who does not really care about gear as much, I just care about shooting. You couldn't tell me that you shot on like the most expensive camera. Like I wouldn't know unless I tried to zoom in, but at the same time, I could just do high res scans if I'm shooting on film.
Yeah, that's true.
But not necessarily. Like certain cameras do have certain looks, especially within the digital realm. I find that with Fujifilm is like very good in terms of like their color system. And then like I also do shoot more so with people who are people of color. So when it comes to photographing them using my digital camera, like I know like, okay, if they're like a deeper complexion, I'm going to use my digital camera as one, just to ensure that I'm framing the shot and composing the shot the way I want it to be. But then also I'm just like, okay, because like film, the color spectrum of film is still slightly very limiting. It wasn't really made for people of like deeper complexions. So I still will shoot. It really, I guess it really depends.
Really depends.
Yeah.
Does it depend on if it's also outdoor or indoor?
Yes. So like if I'm outdoors, I think more so it depends on the time of the day too as well. Because I know that like if I'm indoors, like indoors depending on the lighting, I'll like have fun and play with my film camera. But if it's like a low lighting situation, I'm not spending money on a Portrait 800, which is like almost $40 a roll, just for the roll, not for to get it developed and scanned. I will use my digital camera.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what is the appeal of film photography? Because like there is that big price tag, and I feel like there's more like space for error as well.
And then developing it too.
Yeah.
So initially when I started film photography, it was like the cheapest thing to get myself into doing photography other than using my phone. But then like I was very much obsessed with how the images of like film looked. But over the years of like understanding how film looks and kind of to get that aesthetic or that vibe, especially when it comes to like commissioned work, I can kind of like tweak it and like fake it. I'll even like post up on my story being like, hey, can you guys tell like which one is film, which one is digital? They always think my digital shots are my film shots.
I've done that a few times on your stories.
Yeah. And I'm like, sight. I shot that on a Fujifilm or a Canon camera, digital. But there's something about film in terms of being able to accept the imperfections along the way, whether it's like the final result of the image or just in terms of how you go about shooting it. You have to be more patient when shooting too as well. You have to, well, now I don't think as much, but you still have to think a lot in terms of like, okay, maybe I need to over or underexpose to ensure that at least with the tonality of the specific film stock I'm using, that I'm getting the most out of it.
Did you learn all of that just by like trial and error?
Trial and error, yes. But then also like YouTube University. There was like this one particular channel, negative feedback.
Okay.
So negative feedback was just all about film. The person in charge, they would also like interview like people who were film photographers and solely who would just shoot on film. And just like watching videos, I was like, okay, I'm able to kind of understand it. But then in real time using film, I used to like get so many blanks. My shots used to be underexposed, especially when I was shooting manually. So I was just like, oh my God, like this does not make sense to me. This is like a whole like new language through like, because again, I wasn't like technically or educationally or academically, trained in photography. So it's a whole new language. Your photos aren't coming out and you're just like, okay, I'm spending like $30 per roll.
It's like all blurry.
It's all blurry. But then also too, what I really like about the film community is like you can go to the film labs and be like, okay, why did I mess up? And they'll tell you why you messed up.
I love that.
Nice.
You know what? Because also working at the film lab, people don't hold themselves accountable enough. The fact that they mess up.
Yeah. They try to like hide it.
They try to hide it. But like,
Yeah.
at least for me, because I'm just like, okay, this is like something that I'm now like claiming as being like a discipline, something that will be like more meditative for me. How can I at least with the end result be content with it, even if it comes out blank? How do I go about being content with it? So yeah.
Would you go to school for photography, or do you have mixed feelings about that?
I would go to school, to be honest, just to use their equipment. No shade.
Yes.
You know, like,
And like the studios,
The dark room.
Like yes.
I will be. I'm very grateful. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm very grateful that even though I wasn't academically trained in photography, I have been by other students, like invited into like they're interviewing me, and I'm like, guys, like I'm not new to this.
Yeah.
I'm true to this, but I'm like I don't. This is not my space. But that also gave me like the validation I needed. That like, okay, I'm actually I'm actually doing something.
Yeah.
But very much there have been like students that have been like very accepting of me coming into their studio or into the studio time to like check out the equipment, to even use some of the equipment too as well, to be interviewed or like photographed. So very grateful for that. Would I go? No.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I would prefer to go to more community centered like workshops. They're like $50, $20. One, because like I'm also supporting another artist, but then two, that community aspect, and you're not like being like critically like it's nothing critical about it. It's just like, okay, this is your time to like explore and have fun. You're not being like questioned, you're not being like marked, like yeah.
It's definitely a lot of pressure when you're at school.
Yes, and I don't want to write theses either.
Exactly. Yes, but you are a writer. So
I am
maybe.
a writer, but I will say if I can get when in terms of like creatively, or like when I'm being vulnerable with my art. Sometimes I'll have writing blocks. Sometimes I can just like splurge out. But I found it very easy, like being in school, going to uni, or like when I was in college too as well. Like when it came to like writing my in terms of my work, I was writing reports, so it was like a lot easier. I didn't have to like put my feelings into it. It's like, no, this is based on facts of like the data.
It's like a research paper.
Yeah.
Do all of your photographs kind of just live online, or do you often print them as well?
I recently started printing.
Oh, how does it feel?
I need to do it more often. The first images that I actually like printed were for Stoic Flow for my first exhibit.
Okay.
And once I did that, I was just like, I looked at the prints, I was like, okay, I think like if I used a different paper, like how like in terms of like how you would see it, like how you like receive the work would be a lot different.
Yeah.
And then me also being able to like get it printed on fabric too as well.
Yeah.
As being my first time, I'm just like, yeah, like why not? So I feel like that's very much something that I would love to explore more of. Yeah. And then like Zines, I want to do Zines.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
I love signs.
I love Zines.
I know you were experimenting a bit with like taking the photo off paper in that, I don't even know what it's called.
Polaroid
That
emulsion.
Oh, yes. Do you want to explain that a bit?
First and foremost, I need to thank Cruz.
Another shout out.
Yes, I have to like,
Yeah.
honestly, because the reason why I have to keep shouting people out is because they're the ones that have gotten me to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Even if it was just like I'm rooting for you in the DMs. Thank you, I needed that.
Takes a village.
Yeah.
Cruz, they were doing Polaroid emulsion classes. They were like doing it for like maybe a year or so. And I did one of their workshops. First I photographed it, then I was able to like, they invited me and they're like, yeah, come on and like
Oh, that's so
try
sweet.
it. And I did it once and I was like, okay, I got it. So then I love experimenting with that because it's the most hardest thing to do, and not all the time like the images will come out placed exactly how you want them to be. So then I started putting them on rocks because I'm
Yeah,
like,
I love
rocks
that.
are like rocks
That's
are
so
like
cool.
3D. You can flip them around. You can look at them.
Textile. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you like manipulate the photo in the water at all? Or is it just like it falls where it falls?
It falls where it falls, but once you put like the medium like in the water too as well, it's all about how you go about lifting the image out of the water.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it folds,
Yeah.
it rips, it tears. So, and then also it can change a little bit of color, I find too as well, depending on the temperature of the water. But it's very much like, and it also hardens. So it's like, it's very like fluid. It's like it's literally like water. Or like, the best thing I could say is like, you know what, like that hat that people would do with the nail polish, and they would just dip it in
Water
water.
marble?
And then
Yeah.
put it in your
Okay.
finger.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Okay.
That's
You know what?
you're
That makes so
doing.
much sense.
Yeah.
It seems like it's so hard to control.
Yeah.
It can be like once you get used to it, then like, which I also have like mixed reviews on. Is like, are you getting used to it in the sense of like you're like having better like a better skill set in terms of like how to like have that Polaroid emulsified onto that medium, or are you just getting used to the fact that like, hey, like it's gonna come out however it wants to come out?
Oh yeah. Releasing that kind of control in
Releasing that
ways.
control, yeah.
Have you always been like a big picture taker, like even just with your phone before you got a camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be taking. I have a lot of pictures in nature. So I have a lot of pictures when it comes to like animals and yeah.
Do you think that, I guess, that need to photograph has kind of, I guess, how am I trying to say this? Maybe like taking you out of like living in the moment, or do you think that forces you to notice your surroundings more?
It depends on the situation because there are times when I'm like in the moment and then I forget to take the photo. But there are times when like I'm in the moment, I'm like, wow, I really want to like frame this moment.
Oh, okay.
But like for me, I find it because the last thing I want to be is completely obsessive and it's like I'm taking photo after photo after photo
Yeah.
because I don't really want to also edit those photos. That's true. That's true. I'm very selective on the photos that I want to edit. It makes me think of I don't even know how I might butcher his name, that Quentin director.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. Okay.
Like how if you really think about it and look at the whole trajectory as a whole, his whole entire career, he only has a certain amount of like films in comparison to a few of these other like directors, right? So I'm just like, yeah, I just feel like that when it comes to like image making, I want to still find ways to have that healthy balance.
Yeah. I remember seeing on your Instagram that you did something with TIFF last year, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How did that work out for you?
So I'm interning right now for Vancouver magazine.
Ooh, okay.
And Vancouver magazine is basically the one-stop shop in terms of everything related to fashion news when it comes to Canadian fashion.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was I got to sit down, meet with the owner, Miss Danica Samuels. Also, again, I'm punching in
Nice.
because again, everyone has gotten me to where I'm at today. And Danica, like she's very much like she's like a mentor to me. She has also made me view photography as a means of like of course photojournalism, but actually being able to like claim that title as this is also what I do too as well. So which also goes into like the storytelling aspect too as well, because I'm telling you what's happening in real time. So with that, I was able to go on the red carpet and photograph like a few actors or talents that were in films, and also highlight I guess their fashion choices on the red carpet. But then I also was able to see some films too as well during TIFF too, and that really, I was like, oh yeah, I think I could do this. I think I could get into filmmaking. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I was at TIFF last year.
Is it really different from like the other kind of
Yes.
sessions you've done? Yeah.
So in terms of red carpet, red carpet is very, well, it depends on the red carpet. And it depends on, I don't want to sound away when I say this, but it depends. Like if it's like like I've been to like Canadian red carpets, like for, oh my God, I'm forgetting, for the SOCAN Awards.
Right.
And the red carpet, very calm, very chill. But TIFF, because TIFF is an international film festival, you're getting different media people from different worlds, different countries, different styles of photography, and it's not just like you're doing it you're doing it of course for photojournalism, but you're also doing it like say like in terms of like you're a paparazzi So Tiff was very much, I don't want to say aggressive, but it was a very different space to be in terms of photography as opposed to anything else that I've done. Because usually like the practices that I have, like I can be slow, I can really just I can definitely be present. Working a red carpet, you have to ensure that you're getting the shot. That means if you have to take 20 shots at once, if you're shooting digitally, but if you have to take 20 shots at once, 100 shots at once, just to ensure that you get that shot, I found it to be a lot more demanding.
It sounds stressful.
It was so stressful. I would do it again.
Yeah.
I would do it again because balance is key. It also made me be more assertive when it comes to posing, which is interesting because I'm all about, okay, be calm, like let's feel comfortable and everything. But because being on a red carpet, you want to ensure that you're getting that shot. You have to like be very assertive and be like, hey, look over here, pose, chin up, like,
Do they actually listen to you when you say
like,
that?
if you're me being nice, I'm not gonna lie, they're just like, oh my god, thank you, okay, you want me to pose? I got you. So I got that, but then I saw the other people who were just like the other photographers who were just like, pose, turn around, hello, I said turn around, and then they're doing it, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know if you're just being, I don't think you're being mean, maybe you are, but
It's abrasive.
it's abrasive, yeah. And I guess celebrities are used to it, but I kind of like still, or maybe I'm just like, that's just how my personality is. I'm just like, hi, oh my god, thank you, can you just turn over here for me? Amazing. Like being more like myself, but it can be very abrasive, I will say. Yeah.
When you're shooting outside, is it kind of just like a spur of the moment thing? Like, oh, I love this brick wall, let's shoot here? Or do you have like pre-planned routes that you take?
I have pre-planned routes. I think that even though like if I'm being very spontaneous in the moment, preparation is definitely key.
Of course, yeah.
I love walking around the city, and on my phone, I have like just random pictures. Sometimes look like the most sketchiest place. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just like, I see the vision. I see how the light can hit here. So I'll take those photos, and then I just usually be like, hey guys, just trust me. I know this looks sketch, but just trust me. I know how to make it work. But yeah, I'm always like scouting out locations.
How do you usually find your clientele? Like, is there, I guess, a time of the year where you're busier?
It depends. I find for myself that I'm pretty busy around the end of the summer.
Okay.
So I do a lot more personal work going into spring, and then the start of summer is like pretty chill, but then end of summer going into fall is like my busiest time for me, at least. And how I go about clients is just, honestly, I just post my work. Like I used to be on Kijiji, and I used to get the most.
Oh, really?
I have images that I will never share. And SD cards I've burned.
Yes, that's fair.
But like I've been on Craigslist, I've been on Kijiji when I first started. It was back in 2017, and but somehow it just kept me going, and now it's like I either get referrals, now that I find too as well, because of the community I'm around, I find that like we're always sharing the clients, or we're always just like, I don't even like calling them clients all the time, but I feel like most times I'm like photographing my friends or friends referrals. So like I've built like a lot of relationships, I guess the whole building the rapport, but I've built a lot of relationships where it's like, it's very much word of mouth, but also social media. And then people have been like, okay, you shot with her. What is it like shooting with her? And
Yeah. And I think it is really important that whoever is the clientele or the model or whatever feels comfortable with the photographer, because it is a vulnerable position to be in.
Yeah.
Do you find social media has played like a really big part in kind of pushing your career?
Yes. like I could definitely be the person to be like, no, social media now. But no, yes. Because before, the thing is, I never really wanted to be a content creator. Actually, no, I lied. I was a content creator. I was very much like, when I first started photography, again, it was just more so just like as a natural practice for me. But like, I would like take a picture of like my smoothie on a film camera. And then like, I'm like, okay. Or like my snacks using my film camera and then post that at a later time. And that also helps me in terms of being able to leverage and like work with like wellness brands.
Right.
And I didn't really think about that. Like, oh, okay. Just like the personal work that I love doing. It's kind of, it's helping me in terms of the trajectory of like building clientele, building a business. Also, of course, just like when I initially was exploring photography, being able to like photograph any and everything because it inspires me, and then just posting that, people are just like, oh, okay, she can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you use it almost like a portfolio?
I use it as before I used to use it as a portfolio. Now I'm just like kind of using it just to share my personality.
Okay.
It's like now I don't even, I post my images, but I also like post like the most unhinged things. Like I'm like, okay, I don't
Fun though.
I think I'm kind of funny.
I love your TikTok.
Thank you. Thank you. My mom's there like, what are you doing? Your mom
watches them?
My dad, first and foremost, I talked about my dad's love life.
Yeah, I remember
But like,
that.
I'm low-key thinking about a concept for his love life of like a whole shoot or short film or something.
Oh my God.
He called me, he's like, you need to do more of these. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do this in the most creative way possible through a lens of photography or something. Of course, with my storytelling, because I'm telling exactly like, this is my life, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having more fun with it.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah.
Have you found that, because I know you have had 2 shows now, like exhibits with galleries, have you found it difficult to make like a body of work compared to just a single photo outcome?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say yes. In the sense of, I have like, there's like multiple concepts and multiple body of works I'm working on all the time. And it's just like, for me, it's like more so like, okay, when am I ready to release this?
I see.
So I guess yes and no. Yes, in the sense of like, also just pressuring. Like, I find myself too as well, like when I see open calls, I'm like, I don't have images that fit these themes. And then other photographers will be like, yes, you do. And I'm like, oh, well, it's because the way I'm looking at this photo is like complete, like this is not the concept for it.
Yeah.
But like, again, other people are just like, no, this is how I felt when I saw it, you know? So yes and no.
That's fair. And I do feel like that's one thing I will say that is a benefit for art school is you learn how to see different perspectives on your work, and then how to also basically just bullshit the like artist statement so it fits the criteria. Because I don't know, a lot of people do that.
Oh yeah, you come up with a concept after
Exactly.
it's done.
Yeah.
But that's also, again, kind of something I do with the images after. Because like, there's certain images that like I've been photographing, and or like certain subjects I've been photographing over the years, and it's just like I'll initially like write about like, okay, that's how I'm feeling that day, photograph, probably not look at the photos again until like maybe a few months or a few weeks later, and then after just like kind of write about it again, like this is how I'm feeling, and then I'm just like, oh, I just came up with a concept, and then after another photographer friend is gonna be like, yeah, well, this concept can fit. Like, what are you doing, girl? Like, apply for that. And I'm like, right.
Yeah.
How do you know when you've kind of gotten the shot? Like, does it do you know in the moment, or does it have to go through all the developing or editing for you to be like, okay, this is the one?
So it's easy when I'm shooting on film.
Okay.
So when I'm shooting on film, I'm like, okay, I have 36 frames. One of them has to be the shot.
Right.
So I'm like very like, okay, let me like, I'm even like thinking in real time as I'm photographing too as well, being like, okay, maybe I could shoot this differently. I find that when I'm shooting digitally, like sometimes like I just like, all you hear is,
Oh my gosh. Yes.
that's just the camera. And I'm just like, one of them has to be the shot. But like I'll interchange between the two, even like depending on what like set I'm on. And I'm like, okay, like I took a bunch of photos on my digital camera. I'm gonna take that one shot on the film camera just in case if I feel like I want to use it, the film photo. It's also very much like this like inkling or just like this feeling that you're just like, I'm confident that I got this shot.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself overshooting though? If you have that like
Digital, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Film,
It's a
I'm
lot
like
to sort through.
Yeah, it is.
I sometimes I'll be like for like an hour and I'm like, why did I shoot 1,000 photos? I'm not looking through 1,000 photos.
You just have like piles of
Just
SD
piles. I'm
cards.
just like, yeah, no. Film. That's why I also like shooting on film and bring my film camera because I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna shoot like 10 photos
yeah.
on my digital and then get that shot on film.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna take another break here. Okay, so we wanted to get a more in-depth look at your, I guess, photography process. So we're gonna give you this iPad with some of your pictures on it.
Oh.
And we just wanted to walk through, I guess, how you got the shot.
We chose ones that we felt like we couldn't pinpoint exactly what you did to get the shot. So we would love to hear from you.
Okay, first and foremost, can I just flip this for a second?
Yeah.
This photo is the most highly requested for people to
Really?
want to recreate.
Really, it's a
What do they
beautiful
like?
photo.
Well, I think there's 3 things.
Yeah.
One being the fact that of the sunset. People love sunsets. It very much gives that like Sade type of vibe. That like, oh my God, I'm blanking. I love Sade. Sade, I love you. I swear. Kiss of life.
Oh my God.
They're definitely
yeah.
watching.
Yes. Sade, I love you. I swear. I just blanked. We shared the same birthday, girl.
Oh my God.
But like, I think it's because it gives that kind of like that nice like UK like rhythm and blues, love, romantic type of vibe to it.
Right.
But then also because you're seeing a hue of different colors, and then also with the shadowing too as well. So it's just like it's very much like eye grabbing and yeah, it's colorful. A lot of, at least like when I started photography, a lot of the photography that I was seeing, especially from millennial photography, no shade, no tea, actually no tea, no shade. But a lot of the photography started to become a little bit more like, it was just starting to become gray. Like the
Oh
city is
yeah.
wrong.
Yes.
Now that's tea.
Yeah.
But because it's colorful, because of just like how it looks, it has that retro vibe and everything too. I think people really do love this photo. And then
Yeah.
I find that also with the photos with colors, it's people love it.
So is this on film then?
This was shot on film. I shot both. I shot it on digital and film.
Okay.
Digital just to ensure that I had everything in terms of composing the shot from the lighting to the aperture to, and I actually didn't use Fujifilm. I used a Canon camera for the digital photo. So then because I was using Canon and I was using a Canon with the same mounted lens, it would definitely read or at least look almost exactly alike if I were to shoot it on the Canon automatic film camera, because they use the same lenses.
I see.
Everyone wants to know how I compose the shot. I don't care to like give you guys recipes. I'll tell you guys.
That's fine. Yeah.
So this is an all white wall.
Okay.
And with the fact that it's an all white wall, I turned off all the overhead lights. And then I used an LED light, aimed the LED light to the wall. And then I took the sunset light and aimed it. It was actually right beside her, and I aimed it just so that like the sunset, because the more closer you got with the sunset lamp, the more spherical the lighting for the sunset would be.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of wanted it to have that shape, but I also wanted it to not be like so like in her face and lit, because I'm a shadows girl. I love shadows. So I just put it off to the side about 90 degrees and I stood right in front of her, and I used a 50mm lens because that's the lens that for me it looks the most truest to your eye. And I feel like it also makes it like when you look at the image, you're like, I can see myself exactly in that photo, like at least like in terms of framing it.
Right.
So I even have a photo somewhere. I think I have a photo on Instagram of the light breakdown, because like literally it was like, people think it was like, oh my god, this is glamorous. No, girl, I had it on. I had on a little janky stool. It was a little it was an Amazon sunset lamp that you would buy just for your room. People thought it was a strobe.
I know. I should get one too.
You can do this. And the funniest thing is too, I had a sunset lamp at home.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, I was just playing around with it in my mirror, being like, girl, like, you look good. I'm like,
love that for you.
Yeah. I could use this for a shoot one day. And here we are.
Yeah.
That's so much fun.
This is one of my most favorite lightings. Actually, no, this is my favorite lighting.
Yeah.
In terms of studio work, this is my favorite lighting.
It's definitely one of the more unique ones that you've done.
Yeah.
The perspective is so cool.
That too. Yeah.
And Tanny, she's amazing. Fashion designer too.
Ooh.
Model.
Do it all.
She can do it all.
You know, well,
my God,
I guess like streetwear
Ivy.
photography.
We stalked you a little.
Oh my god, but this is Ivy. Oh, amazing DJ, model, creative director, everything.
Oh my god, these people.
Ivy, I love you. Okay, I love you too, and Tanny. But Ivy, okay. So long story short, just a little quick story.
Yeah.
Me and Ivy, I met her 2020. I think it was 2022, and then 2023. I shot with her 2022. 2023, we were both in New York for New York Fashion Week. And I was like, girl, I low-key just want to hang out. But like, I know you're busy and I'm busy too. So she's just like, okay, she was, I believe she was working on a campaign with, oh my God, I'm forgetting Call It Spring.
Oh,
for the
okay.
boots,
Yeah.
But it was like more so for content creation.
Yeah.
And then also, which is amazing, we have, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name, but Videola, who's a Montreal custom designs dress designer. This is her dress.
Oh.
So like everything that she's wearing for the most part is like a part of like Canadian fashion.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If Call It Spring is Canadian.
I don't know.
We'll say
But
yes. Anyways, we'll say it is for now, but like you guys can fact check me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Canadian. Ivy is a DJ from Montreal too as well. And honestly, we were just running on the streets in like Soho, Manhattan, because we're trying to catch the sunlight.
Right,
As it was setting.
okay.
I got stuck in a car.
Oh no.
On the Brooklyn Bridge for like an hour.
That's like the worst
And
spot
I
to be
spent
in.
$150 to be on that bridge.
Oh my god.
Sorry, $80 USD.
Yeah.
That's too much.
I could have took the train, but like the shot, very much like we were walking around, we weren't getting the sunlight, and I'm just like, girl, however you feel, post up how you want to be. She posted up, she ate that, and yeah, I really like this image. You know, so I'm zooming in, but I really like this image because you know, it's so interesting. How I set the photos are based off of how because I understand like, okay, this is how it's going to grab the person's attention.
Right.
But I really liked the fact that this image, it was like, it gave that New York-esque vibe.
It does. Yeah. And I like how the like window, it's
The window.
the red.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to.
Yeah.
I'm very much a color person. Like, again, like there has to be some pop of color for me to like really see it through in terms of photographing.
Yeah. And this one was done on digital then?
This was filmed.
Film again.
I know, Lee called that earlier.
He did. Yeah, we asked Lee to guess all these. So we'll see what he's right and what he fucked up.
Also, I like the fact that there's so much. I think there's so much imperfection because like I could have just like edited out all the gum and all the rhyme off. I'm like, no, this is
New York.
Life.
Yeah.
This is New York. Yeah, Ivy, you ate that. Oh my god. Wait, where did you guys find this photo?
We went deep onto your feed.
Like I said, we stalked you a bit.
Oh my god. So I actually didn't take this photo.
Oh.
Someone took it of me.
Okay.
I took a picture of the water.
Yeah.
But then I didn't wind the camera all the way, and that was by accident. This is when I was shooting manual.
Ooh.
So, but this is actually like one of the first few photos that I've like have taken of myself as an adult.
Really?
So yeah, like this was supposed to be like nautically suited. That's like that I really want to redo that vision.
Yeah.
But I went to elementary school with this girl. Her name is Jocelyn. I love you, Jocelyn, too. You know that. But she's like, oh, let me just take a photo of you. And I was like, oh, I don't do that. I don't do that. But her having taken the photo of me made me realize too, like, oh, this is how people feel. Like,
Right.
I have to be more like cautious as to like ensuring that they feel comfortable when getting that photo taken. Yeah. This was like when I first started photography too. So that's like 2018.
Oh, such a throwback.
Oh my god.
I love the photo though. It's so good.
It's so cool how it's like the water's in your hair and stuff.
Yeah.
Nautically suited. I did not know how this photo was gonna come out.
No?
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
So
Are
this,
they all filmed then?
I'm not gonna swipe all the way, but we will see. This is shot on film. This is at the Yusuf Days concert for jazz festival for Toronto, and Yusuf Days is probably my most favorite jazz musician, at least like this day and age.
Yeah.
And I was just dancing around. I was having fun. I was with my friends, and like I was really just having fun dancing. I didn't really care how the photos came out. I took this on a point and shoot camera, and the funniest thing, taking it on a point and shoot camera, like you think you're gonna get the shot. That point and shoot camera like kind of has a mind of its own sometimes, just because like you're not able to like change out the settings, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, I set it to how I want it to be in terms of like framing, in terms of zoom. I know what film I'm using. Is the flash gonna go off? The flash didn't go off, I think.
Really?
Because if the flash went off, then it would have really helped to freeze the image. And that's why a lot of photographers, like especially the best thing you can do in low light situations, or even just like if you're shooting film at all, the best thing you can do is like use flash. You might get that flashback, but like but it also helps in terms of freezing the frame.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the science behind it. But
It
like,
just works.
It just
It's
works.
sharper.
But yeah, it does make it sharper. So like the flash didn't go off. I'm here having fun, and because it slightly isn't automatic, it did a long exposure because it wasn't using flash. So since it's a long exposure, it got my movement as well as his movement, and a little bit of the band's movement and other people's movement. And honestly, like if I could take concert photos just as this, don't steal that idea. But if I could take, actually I might take that idea still for myself.
I feel like you should.
But
I want to see more of this.
I want to.
Sure.
I want to do more of this. I did something similar, but like I actually planned it out using a digital camera.
Okay.
And the last one, little clips from I think New York Fashion Week.
Yeah. Oh my God. First and foremost, first New York Fashion Week ever. I'm glad that I went. Shout out to my boy Omar and Ohms. This was for the Hugh Bain fashion show that was also a part of V Files. And honestly, we were trying to get into the venue, but like one, we were a little bit late. Two, like honestly, everything in Soho, everyone was like blocking off the street. So like we had to just make way, and it was very abrasive, and I was just like, but I had fun. Like I had like this, it was like ecstasy. Like I don't know, like being on TIFF, and it would be abrasive, and it was like because it's like very much like they're both professional settings, but like this was like more so like street style, street fashion. And it was like more so like for the culture, for the community. So like I just remember that like even there's like one picture of just like the designer. He was like, wow, like I did this, and I took a
so
photo
much
of him
fun.
being like, yeah,
I think we saw that one.
yeah. But all of this, like what was going on, like what was so nice was like I was trying to get my shot, and New Yorkers are just like New Yorkers are aggressive. But there's like if you're gonna get your shot, come over here. I'm like,
Oh, I love that.
Thank you. And they're like, yeah, like you're short. I'm like, thank you. I also
Call you
know that
out.
too as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to get the shots, and it was also nice. I was like, hey, look over here. They looked. They knew exactly what timing they were on. And then here, like, I feel like I don't know the story here, but I feel like they're all friends because they were just like doing handshakes, and I was just like, yeah, this is culture. This is, I love this. This is what I want to see more of in Toronto, especially like, this is what I think in terms of street fashion for Toronto, in terms of the energy and the support, like total strangers just cheering on, people recording on their phones being like, yes, I'm gonna wear that. I don't know about that, but you ate that. Like, I love that. Toronto is a little bit more posh, a little more like,
Right.
they like everyone was just like high off of emotions of just like,
You're just having fun.
just having fun.
Yeah. I love that.
Man, I wish we had like 10 more pictures because I just want to hear all your stories.
This is so fun.
But thank you for telling us all of that.
Of course,
was
I got
very
stories for
insightful.
days. But also, that's what I try to do on like social media. It's like I try to like at least share bits of stories of like what happened in those moments of me getting those photos. Yeah. Thank you guys. No problem. I'm going to New York soon, so I can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you see people making the most mistakes when they're starting out in photography?
I think it's very much, and I'm also kind of guilty of it too as well, is the over preparedness to get the shot.
Okay.
Because there are times where like I know photographers that will just spend days on ends on Pinterest. And they'll be making like they'll have like multiple boards. Like, this is an idea I have. I'm like, okay, just do it. And they're like, the timing has to be right, or I have to make sure like I have all the tools to actually execute this vision. And I even said it because I did do a panel, and I was like, the best thing you can do is like fail forward, get off of Pinterest. And just shoot. If you don't have the camera, use your phone. Get a digicam, get a disposable camera. Start somewhere.
I guess speaking about phones, how do you feel about the increasing like quality of phone cameras?
I'm here for it, to be honest. Because for me, I find too as well, it would probably help me not to have the excuse of like, oh, I had to like take my camera out of my SD card and plug it into the laptop and edit. I think it's great because it's more, it makes it an easier accessible and access point for people to get introduced into photography or whatever like visual arts that they're interested in. Again, that's also where I started. I used to use that Fuji app with the fake film streaks.
Cool.
Like leaks. I archived those photos, but I did that too as well. And then after everyone was like, okay, get the film camera. I'm like, okay, bet. But I honestly don't have any issue with it. Maybe people who are like more like heavy on like specs and are like gearheads probably like care about it. But like if you got the shot, I don't really care about like what you use. I would say I don't really care what you use. I was gonna say AI. But at the same time, I ramble to myself, but I also ramble to other people being like, AI is here to stay. That you can like use it to your advantage, and that also will help you to be ahead of the trend. Or like, I also think about it like as like people who are interested in photography who have accessibility issues and they can't achieve the images that they want to achieve, right? So I'm just like, that also gives them the tools to create the image that they want to create.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're here for AI?
You
don't want to make the stand.
Yes and no. Like,
Okay.
I'm here for AI because it's the inevitable.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not here for it, of course, taking our jobs. But also I found myself during the pandemic, like falling in love with AI art, but I also was like into like a deep cryptocurrency like bubble where I was like, oh my God, like NFTs. And people were making I was able to see the first initial boom of what AI art could do and the lives that it can touch. And like it got a lot of people who were like, I wouldn't say third world countries, but people who were like in unfortunate situations that helped them to do what it is that they're doing now. So some of them are getting into filmmaking and animation. Some of them are actually getting into photography because they use the AI system or like the AI art to be like, this is the vision that I have. And that's what they're able to pitch to other people to like either invest in that idea, whichever capacity that is. So yes and no. I'm actually controversially, I am here for AI. I just know that there is about finding that balance.
Yeah. And I do feel like it is really hard to find, especially when it's so new.
Yes.
And the people who are creating it are just bad companies and bad people in general. So you know something's going on there.
Yeah.
So it does make you feel, I guess, guilty in ways, knowing that. But it definitely is a tool. And you're right, it's here to stay.
I use AI.
Yeah.
I use AI more so. Let me just say what I use AI for.
Yes. Yeah.
I use AI more so like in a sense of like, say if I'm like having like a creative blockage and I'm just like, here are my themes, here are my ideas, or like, here are my ideas. Can you help me to put them into better words what themes, like what are the common themes? If not, then I use the AI more so of like, I'll see like there's like a lighting technique that I really want to do or editing style that I really want to do.
Yeah.
Like I'll like put it into the AI system and be like, okay, how can I go about this? Like how can I frame the shot and frame the lighting to be how I want it to be in order for me to like achieve that shot. So I use AI for that, but that again also helps me in terms of like, okay, when I go into the studio, I don't have to take so much time setting up my equipment now.
Right.
I have the little blueprint. And I'm like, okay, I got that. I can really like focus on how I'm gonna compose that shot.
Yeah. And I do find a lot of artists are using it more of like a prep tool in ways, like a reference even, or we've used it for proposals, not for like paintings, but to like create rooms that we can place our paintings in. Yeah. So it definitely is a tool. Yeah.
It's here to stay.
Do you find yourself being more confident after you have become like an established photographer?
I wouldn't say I'm established. If you guys think that, thank you. I'll take that. But yes, I would say that more so just because I have a community of people that are backing me.
Right.
And then the reason why I did Stoic Flow when I did that exhibit is because I was tired of people not answering me. I was tired of galleries not responding to my emails. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And then I had like, in terms of those who that are RSVP'd, I had like 120 people that RSVP'd.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm like, I don't need you, Mr. Gallery person. Yeah. Like, I would love it, but like I can do this on my own. It's just more so just proving to myself.
Yeah. With photography, galleries are challenging. That's what I will say. Yeah. Especially in Toronto. Toronto doesn't really have like a fine art photography scene compared to like New York or like any of the other bigger cities.
I feel like, unfortunately, I could probably do a lot better in other cities. And I'm okay with knowing that I could probably do better in other cities. Yeah. I just love to be able to do it too in my city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make your own niche, your own spot.
Exactly. Because like at the end of the day, like for me, the most important thing to me, other than taking the photo and how I feel from the photo, is also like, I always think about, okay, let's think of like a younger version of you whose parents were just like, go and focus on science. And you're just like, no, but there's like a photographer who's like me, or there's a photographer who looks like me, has the same interests as me, has a story that relates to me, and I can do it. So like that's also why I like exhibiting work. It's not more so like, it's of course like, oh my God, here's the vibe, here's the essence, here's like the concept and vision. Yeah. But it's also very much of like, I just hope that it inspires others to just like pursue your dreams, you know? So yeah.
Great message.
Yeah.
I think it's about time we see your painting.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Lee, do you want to come in?
Ooh.
The reveal.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Wow.
You said you worried about the likeness. Like that's so
That's
good.
really good.
I did a lot of fixing. So I forgot to wear a mic, but it's okay.
Sorry, what? I got the mic for you.
I did like 2 fixes on the eye, so it got better.
What do you fix on the eye?
I think they were a bit too small,
Okay.
and then the distance is a bit wrong. Yeah, stuff like that.
Looks great.
Yeah, it really does. How do you feel about it, Nautica?
I've never gotten like a self-portrait painted. Well, sorry, not self-portrait. A portrait painted of myself. I love it.
Yeah, it's such a good.
Wait. I don't.
Do this little side by side.
It's like side eye.
Oh my god.
Nice. How do you feel about it, Lee?
I feel okay.
Nice. But yeah, thank you so much, Nautica, for coming on to this episode.
Thank you guys for having me.
So wonderful having you. If you want to share like your socials or if you have anything coming up that you want to tell the audience about.
So my socials.
Yeah, plug.
So my socials are universal. YouTube, because I'm trying to be on that too as well. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Nautica ENOMIS. You can follow me there. And I'm actually working towards doing photo walks.
Ooh,
Yes, I
that's
want to
so
do
fun.
like monthly photo walks, like maybe once a month.
Yes.
Yeah. Start off in Toronto and then,
Yeah.
like, see where it goes.
I love that.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are invited.
Yes.
I'll come.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me just finalize the dates, but
Okay.
yeah.
You have to let us know for sure.
Yes. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
But yeah, if you want to watch more episodes, subscribe here for more of those. You can follow us on Instagram at clk.to or visit our website at clkco.ca. That's it for this episode of the Gathered Arts Podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye. We did it. Yay.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Now you can tell us your true feelings.